Hi everyone, welcome back to Karen Vibes, reading for the mature audience. I'm here doing some housework and busy as usual, but anyhow, yes, that's my middle name now, Busy Bee. Hope you're all having a wonderful, awesome Sunday. I guess most of you are working, washing, cooking, some persons going to church, doing various stuff. Whatever you're doing, just join along with me while we continue to read this book. So name of the book that we've been reading is Flowers in the Attic, and it's written by Virginia Andrews and narrated by moi, Karen Weir. So just join along with me. And if you haven't been following along, you can go on my page on YouTube, which is Karen Vibes. So it's KrenVibes. That is an exclamation sign, and you can just follow along. So if you don't get the chance to listen now, just go on my page and follow along. So let's just get right into it. So we're still at chapter 12. So we'll just continue reading chapter 12. To make the attic even pretty seemed highly improbable. To make it a beautiful garden soared over the rainbow. It was going to take an enormous amount of hard work and creative ability. But that darn brother of mine was convinced we could do it in no time at all. He soon had our mother so sold on the idea that every day she went to secretarial school, she came back to us bearing coloring books from which we could cut out pre-drawn flowers. She brought us she brought us watercolor sets, many brushes, boxes of crayons, huge amount of colored crafts paper, fat pots of white paste, and 4 pairs of blunt-nosed scissors. Teach the twins to color and cut out flowers, she instructed, and let them participate in all you undertake. I nominate you their kindergarten teachers. She came from that city an hour's train away, glowing with radiant good health, her skin fresh and rosy from outside air, her clothes so beautiful they took my breath away. She had shoes of every color, and bit by bit she was accumulating new pieces of jewelry, which she called junk jewelry. But somehow those rhinestones looked more like diamonds to me from the way they sparkled. She fell into her chair, exhausted but happy, and told us of her day. Oh, how I wish those typewriters had letters on the keys. I can't seem to remember but one row. I have to look up all the wall chart every time, and that slows me down. And I'm not very good at remembering the bottom row either. But I do know where all the vowels are. You use those keys more than any others, you know. So far, my typing speed is 20 words per minute, and that's not too good. Plus, I make about 4 mistakes in those 20 words, and those shorthand squiggles. She sighed as if they too had her baffled. Well, I guess I'll learn eventually. After all, other women do, and if they can, then can I. Do you like your teachers, Mummy? Asked Chris. She giggled girlishly before she answered. First, let me tell you about my typing teacher. Her name is Miss Helena Brady. Her name is Miss Helena Brady. She's shaped very much like your grandmother. Huge. Only her bosom is much larger. Really? Hers is the most remarkable bosom I've ever seen, and her brass straps keep slipping off her shoulders. And if it isn't her brass strap, then it's her slip straps, and she's always reaching into the neckline of her dress to hold them back into place. And the men in the class always snicker. Do men take typing classes? I asked, very surprised. Yes, there are a few young men there. Some are journalists, writers, or have some good reason for wanting to know how to type. And Miss Brady is divorced and has a keen eye for one of those young men. She flirts with him while she tries to ignore her. She flirts with him while he tries to ignore her. She's about 10 years older than he is, at least, and he keeps looking at me. Now, don't get any ideas, Kathy. He's much too short for me. I couldn't marry a man who couldn't pick me up and carry me over the threshold. I could pick him up. He's only 5 feet tall. We all had a good laugh, for Daddy had been full. For Daddy had been full. No, they write this like this. We all had a good laugh, for Daddy had been a full foot taller, and he had easily picked our mother up. We'd seen him do that many times, especially on those Friday nights when he came home and they'd look at each other so funny. Mommy, you're not thinking of getting married again, are you? Chris asked in the tightest of voices. Swiftly, her arms went around him. No, darling, of course not. I loved your father dearly. It would take a very special man to fill his shoes, and so far I haven't met one who measured up to even his outgrown socks. To play kindergarten teachers was great fun, or could have been if our student body had been the least bit willing. But as soon as we had breakfast finished, our dishes washed and put away, our food stashed in the coldest place, and the hour of 10 had come and gone with servants from the second floor, Chris and I each dragged a wailing twin up into the attic schoolroom. There we could sit at the tu- at the there we could sit at the student desk and make a grand mess cutting flower forms from the colored craft paper, using the crayons to glorify the colors with stripes and polka dots. Chris and I made the best flowers. What the twins made looked like colored blobs. Modern art. Modern art. Chris named the flowers they made. On the dull and grey slat walls we pasted up our Goliath flowers. Chris ascended the old ladder with the missing rungs again, so he could dangle down long strings tied to the attic rafters, and to these strings we fastened colored blossoms that constantly moved in the attic drafts. Our mother came up to view our efforts, and she gave us all a pleased smile. Yes, yes, you're doing marvelously well. You are making it pretty up here. And thoughtfully, she moved closer to the daisies, as if considering something else she could bring us. The next day she came with a huge flat box containing colored glass beads and sequins, so we could add sparkle and glamour to our garden. Oh, we did. We slaved over making those flowers for whatever occupation we pursued. We pursued it with diligent, fervid zeal. The twins caught some of our enthusiasm and they stopped howling and fighting and biting when we mentioned the word attic. For after all, the attic was slowly but surely turning into a cheerful garden. And the more it changed, the more determined we became to cover over every last wall in that endless attic. Each day, of course, when Mommy was home from that secretarial school, she had to view the day's accomplishments. Mommy, gushed Carrie in her breathless bird twitter. That's all we do all day. Make flowers and sometimes, Kathy, she don't want us to go downstairs and eat lunch. Kathy, You mustn't become so preoccupied with decorating the attic that you forget to eat your meals. But Mommy, we're doing it for them so they won't be scared up there. She laughed and hugged me. My, you are the persistent one. You and your older brother, both. You must have inherited that from your father. Certainly not from me. I give up so easily. Mommy, I cried, made uneasy. Are you still going to school? You are getting better at typing, aren't you? Yes, of course I am. She smiled again and then settled back in her chair, holding up her hand and seeming to admire the bracelet she wore. I started to ask why she needed so much jewelry to attend secretarial school, but she spoke instead. What you need to make now is animals for your garden. So let me just pause here. So my opinion is this. From what I'm getting, I don't think the mother is going to secretarial school. And I think the daughter, Kathy in the story here, she's as you can hear, she's a very smart young lady. Because she's thinking, me not think you're going to secretarial school and that taking so long. You know? I don't, she's thinking and she's saying, something not right. So I guess she keeps telling them, oh, she can't type properly and she forgetting the keys and what have you. Probably just, keep stalling them. But anyhow, guess we all we make our own opinions from what's happening here. Let's continue. But Mommy, if roses are impossible to make, how can we even draw animals? She gave me a wry little smile as she traced a cool finger over my nose. Oh, Kathy, what a doubting Thomas you are. You question everything, doubt everything. When you should know by now, you can do anything you want to, if you want to badly. And I'm going to tell you a secret I've known about for some time in this world, where everything is complicated. Where everything is complicated, there is also a book to teach you how simple everything can be. That I was to find out. Mommy brought us art instruction books by the dozen. For the first of these books taught us how to reduce all complicated designs into basic spheres, cylinders, cones, rectangles, and cubes. A chair was just a cube. I hadn't known that before. A Christmas tree was just an inverted ice cream cone. I hadn't known that before either. People were just combinations of all those basic forms. Spheres for heads, arms, necks, legs, torso, upper and lower were only rectangular cubes or cylinders, and triangles made for feet. And believe it or not, using this basic method with just a few simple additions, we soon had rabbits, squirrels, birds, and other small friendly creatures, all made by our very own hands. True, they were peculiar looking. I thought their oddities made them all the sweeter. Chris colored all his animals realistically. I decorated mine with polka dots, gingham, checks, plaids, and put laced edge pockets on the laying hens. Because our mother had shopped in a notions store, we had lace cards. Now, because our mother had shopped in a notions store, we had lace cords of all colors, buttons, sequins, felt, pebbles, and other decorative materials. The possibilities were endless. When she put that box into my hands, I know my eyes must have shown all the love I felt for her then. For this did prove she thought of us when she was out in the world. She wasn't just thinking of new clothes for herself and new jewelry and cosmetics. She was trying to make our confined lives as pleasant as possible. One rainy afternoon, Corey came running to me with an orange paper snail. He'd laboriously worked on the entire morning and half of the afternoon. He'd eaten but a little of his favorite lunch, which was peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. He was that anxious to get back to his work and put on the things that stick out of the head. Proudly he stood back, small legs spread wide as he watched each flicker of expression on my face. What he'd made resembled nothing more than a lopsided beach ball with trembling feelers. "Do you think it's a good snail?" he asked, frowning up and looking worried when I couldn't find words to say. "Yes," I said quickly, "it's wonderful. Beautiful snail." "You don't think it looks like an orange?" he said. "No, of course not. Not oranges. Oranges don't have squirrels like this snail does, or crooked feelers." Chris stepped closer to view the pitiful creature I held in my hands. "You don't call those things feelers," he corrected. "A snail is a member of the mollusk family, which have soft bodies without any backbones, and those little things are called antennae, which are connected to its brain. It has tubular intestines that end with its mouth, and it moves by a gear-edged foot." "Christopher," I said coolly, "when Corey and I want to know about a snail's tubular intestines, we'll send you a telegram. And please go sit on a tat and wait for it." It's just like telling somebody, "Oh, go sit on a hot pot." Anyway, do you want to be ignorant all your life? "Yes," I flared back. When it comes to snails, I prefer knowing nothing." Corey tagged behind me as we went to watch Carrie pasting pieces of purple paper together. Her working method was slapdash. Unlike Corey's careful plodding, Carrie used her pair of scissors to ruthlessly stab a hole into her purple thing. Behind the hole, she pasted a bit of red paper. Then she had this thing put together. She named it a worm. It undulated like a giant boa constrictor, flashing a single mean red eye with black spider leg lashes. "Its name is Charlie," she said, handing over her 4 feet of work to me. When things come to us without a name of their own, we made their names begin with a C to make them one of us. On the attic walls in our beautiful garden of paper flowers, we pasted up the epileptic snail beside the fierce and menacing worm. Oh, they did make a pair. Chris sat down and lettered a big sign in red. And this is what the sign read: "All animals beware of earthworm." I lettered my own sign, feeling Corey's small snail was one in jeopardy. "Is there a doctor in the house?" Corey named the snail Cindy Lou. Mommy viewed this day's accomplishments with laughter, all smiles because we were having fun. "Yes, of course, there's a doctor in the house," she said, and leaned to kiss Chris' neck. "This son of mine has always known what to do for a sick animal. And Corey, I adore your snail. She looks so sensitive." Do you like my Charlie?" asked Carrie anxiously. "I made him good. I used all the purple to make him big. Now we don't have no more purple." "It's a beautiful worm, really a gorgeous worm," said Mummy, taking the twins onto her lap and giving them the hugs and kisses she sometimes forgot. I especially like the black lashes you put around that red eye. Very effective. It was a cozy, homely scene. The three of them in her chair with Chris perched on the arm, his face close to his mother's. Then I had to go and spoil it all, as was my hateful way. How many words can you type per minute now, Mommy? I'm getting better. How much better? I'm doing the best I can. Really, Kathy. I told you the keyboard doesn't have any letters. What about that shorthand? How fast can you take dictation? Just a second, folks. All right, let's get back. I'm trying. I'm trying. You've got to have patience. You don't learn things like that overnight. Patience? I colored patience gray, hung over the black clouds. I colored hope yellow, just like that sun we could see for a few short morning hours. Too soon the sun rose high in the sky and disappeared from view, leaving us bereft and staring at blue. Okay, so folks, I'm going to pause there for now, and we will be back in short order, I promise. Alright, so enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I think there's a guest here to me, somebody's here to me, so I'm gonna just, plumber is here to do some things. I'm just gonna go and get that done. So have a beautiful Sunday, and we'll be back in short order. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Still waiting for a comment. Still waiting to hear what you have to say. Share with your friends and let me know what you think. Alright, so have an awesome Sunday, and we will be back. Peace out. Take care of yourselves.